Newsflash, everyone, you can draw anything you want. But of course, you can't pour from an empty cup. What I mean by that is that you can draw what you haven't seen nor studied. I know that specifically as a beginner, you're very eager to just start drawing and be able to draw from imagination, but you actually have to study the things that you want to draw before you can go ahead and draw them by themselves without using references. So I know it's common for us to just, okay, maybe I draw from imagination and now I'm going to draw using this reference. But there's an issue you can come across while trying to do this, and the thing is that recognizing versus actually drawing from memory are two different things. You may be able to recognize what something looks like, but when you're going to draw it, you just miss things. You miss details that are important for others to also say, oh, wow, this is like the exact same thing. So what I mean by that is, for example, you may know how Pikachu looks like, but then you want to draw Pikachu from imagination and it's very different. The first step as an artist is to draw from reality, looking at references. And eventually you build up to being able to draw without looking at them. But the thing is, you have to break references down into forms. Like, you can just straight up copy what you see. Like, yeah, it's going to kind of work, but this is not going to help you long term in retaining what you're drawing. You first have to understand the object that you're drawing before you go ahead and try to replicate it by yourself. I'm going to teach you how to improve your practice with 3 science-based steps. That's all you need. First, I want to talk about why your current practice isn't working, and I kind of mentioned this. You have to be able to understand the object that you're looking at. What your brain needs is retrieval practice, not just copying. It needs to be able to pull from its own database. Copying photos is a bit of passive learning. It actually doesn't build your memory going forward. So for this, you have to be more intentional with your art practice. The first thing is to study multiple examples. Look at 3 to 5 different references of your subject. For example, let's say I want to learn how to draw cats. So I'm going to be looking at these cats right here. And I'm going to identify patterns. So what stays the same and what changes across all these 3 references. I try to be very intentional with this. So I try to look for pictures of cats at 3 different angles. Let's just say I want to draw a basic model of a cat. So that's what I'm doing. So what stays the same and what changes here? There's the shape of the head that just turns around as other images come up, and the shape of the body, and maybe how their paws and like their legs are positioned, also their ears. So here I'm also breaking it down into other simple shapes because that's part of the process. What's the step 2 for this? You have to copy and annotate. And what do I mean by that? You can draw from the reference, but you have to write notes as you go. So you can label proportions, angles, specific key details that you notice as you're doing this. So this helps with dual encoding, so visual plus verbal. By doing these specific notes, you start to remember things by the notes that you're taking as well. So for example, if you notice that a cat has, like, the space between each eye is another cat eye, if you notice these kind of things, you can annotate them. And then when you draw this again, you're going to be remembering these specific details. So it's pretty useful to use this. And now the third step, which is the actual challenge of drawing from memory. So close your references and draw from memory. This is where learning actually happens because you're using your brain to retrieve the information that you've been practicing and learning. Like if you were practicing for a simple test or for another type of test. Once you have this picture drawn by memory, you can open your reference again, like look for it and see what you missed and what's right. And you have to do this like 3 to 4 times. And also do a break for this, because your brain actually learns better by having good breaks. So be intentional with your drawing practice, like turn off your cell phone, no music, no podcast. I heard somewhere that like classical music in a low volume is okay, or lofi beats in a low volume are also okay. But yeah, just focus on this specific thing. To be able to increase your mental library, you can pick a specific category every month. And here I was drawing animals, but I think it would be useful if you're starting out to pick something that is going to be most useful to you at the moment. For example, I in general like to draw people and poses and all that, so I wanted to mainly practice that. Please avoid mistakes like only drawing from imagination, because there you have to study first, as we've talked. And also to only copy. I think it's good to practice from reference, but you have to actually understand what you're drawing and test your memory. Don't try to learn everything at once. Be very mindful about how retrieval works and how breaks also work to improve your memory. So practicing everything at once is maybe not as helpful as you think. The recap is that you have to study patterns, then annotate while copying from reference, and then test your memory. So I invite you to try this when you try to learn something new, and please trust the process. I know art is a very patience-driven subject category. It's very frustrating, but I think it's rewarding when you see how your practice is actually having results. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Happy New Year. If you like this one, please subscribe for more. I'm going to keep making videos like this. See you in the next one.